Hello, welcome to HIS 315. My name is Daniel Smith, and I will be the instructor for the course. In this brief video introduction, I would like to introduce myself and introduce the course to give you an idea of what you can expect. I've been teaching here at Bay Path College for 6 years, and I have taught this course a number of times. I also teach History 114 and History 115, which are also both American history courses. I teach primarily online, but I also teach occasionally on campus in the one-day program. I teach at several other colleges also, where I teach history. A little bit about myself. I'm from Rome, New York originally, which is a relatively small city near Syracuse. After finishing high school, I received my bachelor's degree from Syracuse University in history and secondary education. And I also went on to earn a master's degree in history at SUNY Cortland. I have also studied in the PhD program at the University at Albany, though I haven't completed that program. As I said, teach at a number of colleges in upstate New York. I live in Albany, New York, which is the capital of New York State. I've lived here for about 7 or 8 years now, and fairly recently, well, about 2 years ago now, I was married, and my wife works in middle school in Albany, and recently, about a year ago, we were able to purchase a house together. I don't yet have any children, so just a little bit about myself. In the icebreaker, which is actually open now, you'll be asked to share a little bit about yourself as well. Whatever you'd like to share about your own background, etc. So I look forward to learning a bit more about you. So History 315. What can you expect from this course? I think you'll find it to be a very interesting course. It deals with contemporary American history, which means it covers the time period from the Second World War to the present. Really, the end of the Second World War up to the present is what we'll be examining in this course. The course proceeds chronologically, so we start with the oldest material first, World War II and its consequences, and we proceed up to the present, towards the end of the course. The course is a 6-week format, so we have 6 units or 6 weeks of course material. The course begins on June 12th. That's important to note. I found that there's often some confusion about the start date, particularly in the online program. So please note that the course begins on Thursday, June 12th. And the first assignments, are opening at that point. So that's something to keep in mind. The first assignments are due on Saturday, June 14th at 11:59 p.m. So the first assignments are due Saturday, June 14th, 11:59 p.m. All assignments for the course are due on Saturday at 11:59. Now you can submit the assignments at any point during the week, but those are the assignment due dates. So the various assignments have to be completed by that point for each unit. The only thing that is due on a different date, for the discussion boards, I do ask you typically to post your initial response by Thursday, and then your responses to other students' comments by Saturday. So all of the due dates are listed on the syllabus. I would encourage you to review the syllabus as soon as possible. It is up on Canvas, and it contains a lot of valuable information about the course. American history in the contemporary period, I think you'll find engaging. We've lived through at least a portion of this time period. All of us, have lived through some part of the period that we're looking at in this course. And if we haven't lived through the early parts, we surely know family members, friends, colleagues, associates who did live through these different periods that we're studying. So we're not studying, ancient history here. We're studying events that are fairly contemporary. Now, The types of assignments that you'll have in this course are several. So I'd like to go over a few of those with you. First of all, as I've mentioned, there are discussion boards. For every unit of the course, there are 2 discussion board questions. These are questions about aspects of American history. They all relate to the assigned reading from the textbook. So by reading the textbook, you will gather information which will help you in answering the discussion board questions. Now, you're not limited to the information in your textbook. If you want to go online and find additional resources, you're welcome to do so. But you should be able to answer the questions from the reading from the textbook. I've designed the questions to be accessible in that way. Now, for each of the 2 discussion boards, you are required to post your own initial response. I don't have a word limit on the response. Students often ask that. There's no specific word limit, but it should be some sort of substantive response. I would suspect that you'll need to write at least a paragraph in response to the question. I don't think you could answer the question in a single sentence or 2 sentences, adequately typically. So you post your own initial response. Then you are required to respond to at least 2 other students' comments. So for each discussion board, you are required to post your own initial response to the question and then respond to at least 2 other students' comments. Now, again, there's no word limit or word requirement for your responses to other students, but again, I would expect it would be more than a sentence, and it shouldn't be just an affirmation. So in other words, responding good post or good work, that would not be considered to be a substantive response to another student's comment. You should engage with the student, comment upon something that they've offered, make your own, contribution in your response. It doesn't have to be incredibly lengthy, but some sort of, response in which you engage with the comment more fully than just saying, good work. Sometimes there's confusion about that, so I just want to clarify. What that means is you're posting 3 messages. You're making 3 posts, if you will, for every discussion board question. What that also means is that for each week, you're posting a total of 6 comments, 3 for each of the discussion boards. That's important to note because to get full credit for the discussion board, I'm looking to see that you've posted at least 3 comments for each of the discussion board questions. Generally, when students lose points, that's typically the most common reason, is that they haven't posted the full 3 responses. You'll note that when you go into the discussion board, you won't see any other students' comments until you post your own initial response. So you have to post your response to the question before you can access any other students' comments. The reason I've done that is that from previous experience, it's rare, but occasionally a student will suggest that, this, student X has basically, copied and pasted my post in their response. So, to prevent that concern, I've made it so you have to post your own initial response before you can see other students' posts. So that's one thing to keep in mind. I've found that it's helpful. I've used it now for 1 or 2 semesters, and I think it's been a good addition to the course format. Okay, now for week 1, all of your responses to the discussion board are due by Saturday, June 14th. The course begins on Thursday, June 12th, meaning that's when you gain access to all of the material for the unit, for Unit 1. And your responses for the discussion board are due on Saturday, June 14th at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. For all subsequent units, your initial response to the discussion board is due by Thursday at 11:59 p.m., and your responses to other students are due by Saturday at 11:59 p.m. So there's 2 different due dates for units 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The reason for the Thursday due date is that will give you time to respond to other students. If everyone responds on Saturday, that doesn't give a lot of time for posting responses to other students' comments. The earlier in the week you can post, the better. You're more likely to get more responses. I will be responding to your posts. I'm going to go I will go through the discussion boards and respond to the threads, respond to your posts as well. So that's a little bit about that. The first unit you'll see one discussion board question deals with the social impact of the Second World War. What impact did the Second World War have upon various communities, such as the African American community, and on women? The second discussion board question deals with the Japanese internment, the imprisonment of Japanese Americans during World War II, and to what extent this violated the Constitution and was unjust. So for Unit 1, that is the only assignment. For Unit 1, there are only discussion boards. The reason for that is Unit 1 is a very short unit. It begins on Thursday, June 12th. It ends on Saturday, June 14th. So that's the only assignment. That's for all subsequent units, units 2 through 6, there are additional assignments. So you have the 2 discussion boards, but also other assignments. Each week from units 2 through 6, there will be a primary source assignment. In the primary source assignment, you are presented with 2 documents, 2 historical documents. A primary source is a source written by someone who has a first-hand experience of a historic event. So a document written by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. about the Civil Rights Movement, that's a primary source because he participated in the movement. It doesn't have to be a document written by a famous person. I mean, anyone who participated in the March on Washington during the Civil Rights Movement could write a primary source account of that event. It doesn't have to be someone who's particularly famous or well known. But it's a first-hand account of the past. One way that historians learn about the past is by reading documents written by people who actually experienced the events. So you're going to get the opportunity to read these documents in this course. So there will be 2 documents you're assigned to look at for every week of the course for units 2 through 6. And at the end of each document, there are 2 questions. You are asked to write a response to each of the 2 questions for each of the 2 documents, and to, submit your responses. I'd expect your responses will be, a few sentences to a paragraph in length for each question. And you can write more if you want. And I'll be evaluating and grading and responding to your responses to those questions. Another type of assignment you'll have for units 2 through 6 are the film reviews or film commentaries. For history, there are a lot of good documentary films. I've chosen a selection of documentary films for this course. They're all through the Films on Demand feature, which is available through Hatch Library through Bay Path College. So when you go into My Bay Path, one of the links is for Hatch Library, and one of the links within Hatch Library is Films on Demand. I've actually posted a link, though, right within Canvas. So if you go into Canvas, you go into the assignment, there will be a link for the film. So you can just click on the link for the film. You may be asked to provide your login information. It's the same information used to log into Canvas. You go into Films on Demand, and you can actually watch the documentary film on your computer from wherever you are. You will be asked to write a 1-page commentary and review of the film. I've posted specific instructions for that. And each week you'll be posting a review of a film, and I will be grading, evaluating, and commenting on that. Then, finally, there is a final paper for the course. You are asked to write a research paper for the course. There are specific instructions for this available in Canvas. You can choose any topic in American history from 1945 to the present. It could be a person, an event, and I'm asking that it be a topic that is somewhat controversial or open to discussion and debate. Something that could generate differing ideas, differing perspectives, and that you write a short research paper in which you share what you've learned. Those are all of the assignments for the course. The research paper is due at the end of Unit 6. I think you'll find it to be a full and enriching course. If you have any questions or concerns, feel free to email me, send me a message through Canvas, or call me. My phone number is posted. It's area code 335-6446. I look forward to working with all of you this semester. Thank you.